Oh, hello. Hope everyone's having a good day, good night whenever you're watching this. It is Monday of April 3rd, 2023. The weekend's over, unfortunately, but definitely had a great weekend to remember, So, I'm not complaining too much, but anyway, so for this video, honestly, I'm going to talk about something that I've been hearing a lot lately. And it's probably going to piss people off. And you know what? I do not care. That is not my problem. But before I say what I have to say, I will say this right now. First off, yes, I am still thinking of the 3 kids and 3 staff members that lost their lives in Nashville last Monday, about a week ago now. And, I'm still thinking and praying for them, praying for the families and all. And then for the 2 cops that killed that mass shooter, like I said in a previous video, I applaud them for what they did. That, and I will also say this as well. Do I have a problem with transgender people? No, I don't. Do I have a problem with the LGBTQ community? No, I do not. So, if you guys, if it sounds like I am going against transgenders and the LGBTQ community, then I apologize if it sounds like that. But honestly, this is something I'm going to say, and like I said, I know it's going to piss a lot of people off. But, so, with that being said, I've been hearing a lot of bullshit online, on TikTok, Facebook, not so much YouTube, but I've seen it on Twitter as well. And I even had a comment that was made on one of the TikTok videos that I did, where, somebody was like, well, that mass shooter, probably went through this and that. Blah, 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 blah. You probably don't understand what that mass shooter went through. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? I don't give a fuck about what that mass shooter went through prior to the shooting. I'm sorry, but nobody should ever get a free pass or, receive props, for causing a mass shooting just because of their sexuality or whatever life they live. I'm sorry, but being a transgender doesn't give you the right to sit there and massacre a bunch of people like that. I mean, we're talking kids. 3 of them were kids anyways. 2 of them 9 years old, and 1 of them 8 years old. For the staff members, a lot of them, I think they were all around the age of 60, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look again. But the fact that people are sitting there justifying what that mass shooter did, all because it's a transgender, is beyond disgusting. And the fucked up thing is a lot of these people that are sitting there sticking up for the mass shooter are the same people that are so quick to, bash all Trump supporters, even sit there and bring Trump up and, sit there and talk this and that. If it's a straight white mass shooter, like, come on now. I'm sorry, but if you're going to justify what that mass shooter did because it was a transgender mass shooter killing Christians, you are sick. You are fucked up in the head. Oh, well, it was a transgender. She probably went through this and that. I don't fucking care. I'm sorry, but you know what? For transgender people out there, I'm not throwing all of them under the bus, but, if you're going to sit there and bitch about how people are not accepting you, or if you're going to sit there and bitch because people don't want to respect you for who you are or accept who you are, when really you did that shit to yourself, all I gotta say is you need to seek help. Again, I'm not saying that to sound hateful towards transgender people, but honestly, man, clearly this shooting has gotten people all fucked up because, you got people that are actually showing their true colors and going on and on, saying things like, yeah, it was a transgender that caused it. He killed Christians, so yeah, mad respect to that person. It's a shame that person died. Oh, quit saying there were only 6 people that tragically lost their life. There were 7, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I don't give a fuck about that mass shooter that got killed. You know why? Because that mass shooter fucking deserved it. I don't like to sit there and wish death or negativity on people, but honestly, if you're going to sit there and massacre a bunch of people like that, you deserve to get shot. And honestly, I think that's something that should happen with all mass shooters out there, not just certain ones. Even if the white shooter is some straight white conservative male, yeah, I think they all deserve to get shot. I'm sorry. Not only that, but to anybody that's going to try and pull the freaking card, oh, well, this person wasn't a straight white male, so of course she got shot. Or sit there and try and pull the race card in this matter. Let me tell you something. Probably almost 2 months ago now, there was a mass shooting that happened at Michigan State University in East Lansing, Michigan. The person that caused the shooting was black. And you want to know what ended up happening to that shooter? He's behind bars right now. I don't know how long they said he was going to be behind bars for, but he's behind bars right now. So honestly, you could take that race car bullshit and shove it up your ass where it belongs. But, sad thing is because it wasn't a white person that caused that shooting. You got several people that were sitting there talking about how guns are such evil things, guns kill people, guns do this, guns do that, guns do that, guns do this, blah, 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 blah. Like, seriously, man, people out there are just so quick to weaponize or politicize a tragedy. It's not even fucking funny. And then, you got Joe Biden, and, again, I'm not trying to make this about politics, but my word, what he said was completely fucked up, and honestly, I think he needs to be removed from office for this. But, he's sitting there supposed to give out a speech, talking about the Nashville shooting, and what does he do instead? He goes on to say, "Hi, my name is Joe Biden, and I'm with Dr. Joe Biden or Dr. Jill Biden or whatever. I came here because I heard there'd be chocolate ice cream, blah, 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 blah." Who the fuck does that? Honestly, if this was Trump saying those things, then people would be pushing to get his ass out of office, get his ass impeached for a 3rd time. Yeah, here you are, you have Joe Biden, or Joe Bididiot as I like to call him. that's sitting there making jokes, caring more about chocolate ice cream than he does about the mass shooting that just happened, which is pretty fucked up. And for those of you that are going to sit there and say, oh, well, Joe Biden didn't actually say that, Fox News and a lot of the other news stations out there are only trying to say that make him look like the bad guy, blah, 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 blah. You know what? You're the same person that sits there and believes everything that comes out of CNN or the Young Turks or Salin or any websites or news medias out there that talks about Trump, makes lies about him all the time. So honestly, miss me with that bullshit. Because if you sat there and you believed each and every fucking lie that was told about Donald Trump, you shouldn't even be talking. But anyways, again, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to politicize this tragedy, but again, the fact that people are even sticking up for this mass shooter is beyond sickening. And I mean sickening. I don't care if that person was a transgender or a fucking LGBTQ member, for an example. You kill a bunch of people like that, you deserve each and every consequence that's coming to you. And again, like I said, I applaud those 2 cops for taking action and gunning that mass shooter down. This is beyond messed up, It's like people, 1 minute they sit there and say, oh, the mass shooter did this and that, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's ban guns, let's ban the AR-15, let's sit there and go after the NRA or Donald Trump or this and that, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden it was a transgender mass shooter. Oh, well, that transgender was a victim. You don't understand what that person had to go through. You know what? There were 7 people that were killed in the mass shooting. Oh, there was 6 people that there were 7 people that lost their lives tragically. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Honestly, fuck that mass shooter. I don't feel bad one bit for that mass shooter. That mass shooter, all I gotta say is, fuck that person. All that person is to me now were. That's the pronouns I have for that shooter. That's all I'm going to say about that. As much as I want to try and respect the LGBTQ community, I will say this right now. If you are an LGBTQ supporter or an LGBTQ member of some sort, and that right there didn't piss you off, nor does it piss you off when people try and stick up for that mass shooter, all I gotta say is you can go suck a dick. This is beyond sickening. 6 people, including 3 children, lost their lives. And the amount of disrespect and complete bullshit that people are pulling out of their asses is just fucked up. I couldn't imagine losing a kid like that or a family member of some sort, and then people sitting there saying things like, oh, well, yeah, fuck that person, or oh, that mass shooter probably killed that person because of this and that, blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck, man? I don't know what all to say about this. But, honestly, I think I've said enough. I think I said what I had to say about this situation. But like I said, if you're one of these people that are praising that mass shooter, all I gotta say is, fuck you. I hope and pray that you never lose a family member or a loved one of some sort in a mass shooting like that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sure I probably pissed a lot of people off for saying this, what I said, and putting this video out there. And you know what? I don't care. I said what I had to say, and that's that. Is there a chance this video will probably get removed for some of the shit I said? Probably. Because, you know, I've already had that happen to me at some point, and you know what? I guess if it happens, it happens. So be it. But if you do agree with me, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. You know, do whatever, you know. And that's that. Y'all take care now.